In this video, I'm going to show you how you can double your signups by designing and launching email pop-ups that actually convert. With the rising cost of CPMs and increased competition, e-com brands have to do everything to increase the efficiency of the advertising efforts. And the best way they can do that, and probably always will be the best way to do that, is by growing your email list. And that's why it's so important to have an email list that you actually own so that you can increase your lifetime value, increase your revenue, overall profit, and profits without having to spend more money on advertising. And the gateway to do this is going to be through a successful pop-up form. So let's get straight into this. So in this video, we're going to go through high converting pop-up forms in 2025. What creates a high converting pop-up form for your e-commerce business? Now, first of all, let's actually understand the purpose of a pop-up form. There's three main things we want to focus on here. Immediate lead capture, because over 90% of visitors won't buy on their first visit. So we want to capture their emails to prevent losing them forever and really just build that relationship from the start. So this is where we start to nurture them and actually get them to overcome that objection for purchasing with a series of different value-packed emails. Number two, how we do this is by building trust. Coming back to my point earlier, we want to make sure that we're giving social proof in our emails after we've captured them from the pop-up form. We want to go ahead and show our unique value proposition and how we compare to other solutions in the market. And number three, literally all ties into the same thing here as well, is just making sure that we're turning those first-time buyers into repeat customers. So that's what we can do, is prep them not only for their first purchase, but also for their repeat purchases as well. That is the purpose of a pop-up form. So the importance of pop-up forms, step one is obviously lead capture, turn anonymous traffic into known subscribers the moment visitors land on your website. The second is behavior-based engagement. So you can have smart pop-ups appear at the right moment, whether that be for time-based incentives, where a pop-up would appear on the screen after a set amount of time. It can also be based on how far they scroll down your landing page, and it can also be done via exit intent pop-up. So if somebody tries to leave your website, you can then come in with a complimentary offer as well to try and lure them back in. Well-optimized pop-up forms can convert at 10% or higher. I've had pop-up forms at around 18% for some brands. This is all going to be tied into A, how your pop-up form is constructed, and B, the offer at hand as well. So what is your value proposition? So common mistakes with pop-up forms. A lot of people have weak offers. Sign up for our newsletter. This is not a strong, compelling offer. We want to make them feel rewarded for opting in and giving us their details. So we could have something like claim reward, for example, as a pop-up form, or here is your free gift, claim your free gift, okay? So poor timing, don't show pop-ups instantly. Wait 5 to 10 seconds or 50% scroll page before the trigger. This is something that you need to split test, but if it's too long of a wait time, it can obviously reduce the amount of signups you're getting, because a lot of people are gonna leave your site before they even see your pop-up. Too many requests, so asking for stuff like the phone number. For birthdays, I've seen emails is the first thing you want to collect. Then you can go ahead and try and capture their birthday if you really want to. But I would always recommend going for a two-step and getting the phone number on the second step of the sign-up form. More pop-up form mistakes to avoid is slow load speed. So use lightweight fonts, use lightweight forms that load in under a second to avoid losing that user. Font sizes too small or forms too small. So if you see a pop-up that's got too little text where you can barely read it, or the actual form itself is too small. If the call to action doesn't grab your attention, there's a lot of rookie mistakes here. For example, on my left, you can see name, email, message, submit. Not very compelling. And I'm going to show you a few examples as to what actually creates a good pop-up form later on. Too much copy is another issue we see. So keep it short and straight to the point, like get 10% off your first order. Lastly, the final pop-up form mistakes we see is too much going on. Use one headline, a short subheading, and then one call to action button. Avoid clustered designs. So keep it really clean, minimal, and straight to the point. Number two would be to have an unclear offer. Just make sure that the headline clearly states what visitors are getting, and value should be instantly seen. Number three, too easy to close. So add a small delay, 1 to 2 seconds before the close button appears to prevent instant dismissals. I would also make sure that it's not a big bold button that they can just X off. Try and keep it small, but not too small where it's like, how do I actually get off here? Hope that makes sense. So creating pop-ups in Klaviyo. Steps 1 to 3, establish a strong offer, choose the right form type, and then create the form in Klaviyo. And I'm going to show you how to do this a bit later on. What we also want to go through is a checklist. Is the offer compelling? Does it load quickly? Is the text minimal and engaging? Does it match brand colors and fonts? And does it show at the right time? And then what I would always suggest doing is setting up an A/B test as well, so we can really try and push the needle with high pop-up form conversions. Stuff to A/B test. The offer, test 10% off versus $10 off. So you can always try and mix it up. If the monetary value seems a lot more compelling than the percentage, I would always opt in for this. Copy optimizations, unlock 10% versus get 10% off. Which one drives more signups? This is something you want to split test. You can even do claim your reward rather than unlock or get. Little tweaks in wording can actually have a big difference. I would also go ahead and split test the form type. So are you running a classic pop-up, a spin to win? Does gamification increase the sign-up forms? I've seen a lot of brands who have spin to wins actually convert a lot higher than just your classic get 10% off or unlock 10%. For example. Time delays, this is something we definitely want to split test. So do you want it to show after 5 seconds versus potentially 15 seconds? Which works best for your brand? This is something you want to split test. And also, does having an image versus not having an image increase conversions? There's a lot of variables to split test here. Key takeaways: compelling offer, optimized design, perfect timing, and continue A/B test. That is literally it. You don't want to overcomplicate this stuff. So here's an example of a client of mine where we went ahead and used the angle of unlock 10% off. We actually made it transparent here so that it has this 3D effect as well. This is the mobile variation and this is the desktop variation. Now, I would always recommend having one optimized for desktop and one for mobile. It's non-negotiable. You need to have one optimized for each. We've gone for unlock 10% off. Are you ready to elevate your health and wellness journey? Yes, I want 10% off. Nice, simple example here. Here's another example of a really high converting pop-up form. This actually converted at around 18%, and I can show you the data in a minute live inside of the account. The reason I believe this works so effectively is because we have an image highlighting the before and after of that results. As you can see here, nice before and after image, real stories, real change, 1,000+ people already got treatment. And then we've actually embedded this image into the pop-up inside of Klaviyo. So as you can see, the pop-up form, we have 18% submit rate. This is the one that I've just shown you. If I click edit form, you can see how this has actually been set up inside of Klaviyo. We went ahead and updated the image. This was obviously an example here, but we did go ahead and update this a little bit later on down the journey. Image at the top, get up to $450 off. Take advantage of this special offer and get one step closer to your dream body. Put your name, email, and then call to action is tying back in with this offer here. This is for the email opt-ins. So we have a 2-step pop-up. Email is the first opt-in, then the SMS is sign up for SMS alerts, and then we capture their phone number here as well, okay? So that's how I would always frame it. Email first, then SMS. Obviously, you do want to try and capture both, but we want to remove as much friction as possible and capture that email because then they're in our ecosystem. Sometimes people can be a bit funny about putting their phone number in because it's a lot more private and confidential giving out your phone number, especially when people get a lot of spam calls and texts these days. So that's something you want to take into account. Another example here, we're split testing a bunch of different variables, but the angle that we've gone down is love a mystery discount. So people love it when you pique their curiosity and they're either getting a free mystery gift count, or something like spin to win, which I'll show you in a minute as well, which really does help with conversions. Call to action here is unwrap my deal, and obviously the heading for the value proposition is love a mystery discount, okay? So the last pop-up I would potentially split test if you haven't already. This usually is the most high converting pop-up prehistorically, is a spin to win. Now, when I say spin to win pop-up, usually people think of this bright, flamboyant, gambling sort of spin to win. You don't need to make it like that. As you can see, we've tailored this towards the brand products and the branding of the entire brand. As you can see, we've made this cohesive to the brand guidelines. So it's simply just put spin to win, enter your email, and then try my luck, and then they get their mystery discount as well. So gamifying your reward for customers actually makes it a lot more exciting because it's, you know, what do I get? And as you can see, that's the first step. We always rig this, so regardless of the fact that it's a spin to win, you can see all these different offers here, it's always going to be rigged for 10%. So this is something you can preset as well, so don't panic. There's not going to be a fluctuation of different coupons going out. So let's actually go ahead and build this pop-up form here. I'm simply going to come and export my image at the top. So I'm just going to click on the image and export this. And what you want to do is, once you open up Klaviyo, you want to go to your sign up forms, create form, and you're going to scrap all of these and go up to the top right corner and click create new form. So I'm just going to call this test. Which list should they be added to? This should always be your newsletter. and the most common one will be the pop-up form. Okay. The only thing I wanted to show you quickly as well is this teaser. If you don't want this on your website, before you create this, you can see here, include teaser, you can remove that. I would suggest split testing whether you have it on or off. So I just wanted to show you that before you go ahead and creating this. So that's the first thing to mention, is whether you want a teaser or not. One thing I did want to mention was how to split test. So if you've created your pop-up form, as you can see here, you just want to create a A/B test. So let's just do 7-second delay versus maybe it's, I don't know, scroll percentage. And let's just date this 17th of Feb 21, A/B, and then we'll just do time versus scroll. Okay, now what you want to do is for your 7-second one, as you can see here, we're now on the 7-second, you just change the targeting and behavior. So after time delay would be 7 seconds. So you can see the different rules here based on rules. Show after a time delay of after 7 seconds. That's literally it. Then for the scroll, so based on rules, after a visitor scrolled a certain amount of the page, I would probably leave that at 30%, but you can split test, 20%, 50%, and so forth. So that is literally how you go ahead and set the split test up. Once you've done that, you just literally go ahead and publish this, and you'll see your A/B test is set up here. We would also want to make sure that the weight is 50-50. So for every 100 customers, 50% is going to go and receive the 7-second delay, and the other 50% would receive the scroll delay. So that's exactly how you go ahead and set the A/B test up. Then you just go ahead and click publish the A/B test. Of course, this is on my Sunlo account, so you're not going to be able to publish this, but yeah, you just go ahead and publish the A/B test like so. Now, how would I actually go ahead and recreate that exact design? So I've just exported the image. Now, what we want to do is go a bit further into this email. So what you want to do is click email opt-in at the top here, and we're going to add a block. The block I'm going to add is an image, and we're just going to add that in right at the top here, just above our text. And then you can go ahead and drag and drop that image that we've just downloaded. So let me just drag and drop that in there. And cool, you can see it doesn't fit at the moment, so we just need to adjust that. You can play around with the pixels here. What you want to do is just set this to 600. So let me show you how to quickly create a pop-up form inside of Klaviyo. You want to go over to your pop-up forms over here, sign up forms, create form at the top, create new form again. Let's just call this test, and then do the newsletter. Now, I would keep this ticked for include a teaser. I'll show you exactly what that is in a minute. And then you want to select pop-up. That's usually the most common pop-up form. Now, teaser, I just spoke about a minute ago, which we just ticked. That is get 15% off. It's a little tab on mobile. It's also shown on desktop as well. You can have that on or off. I would always recommend having that on. And you can actually change the text here as well. For example, you can have, claim 15% off. Email opt-in options. What you want to do is actually go ahead and design that pop-up. I've already exported this image, so now all we need to do is go over to the form, add blocks, drag and drop the image at the top here, if it lets me. And we're simply going to remove the padding on the sides and also at the top as well. Now I'm just going to select the image that we downloaded. As you can see here, this image that I've just downloaded and imported. And the size for this, let's just put that at 600. And the reason I'm doing that is because it's 600 width on the actual dimensions. So this is 600. You can actually see here the width 600 there. Now what you want to do is just come back, and we want to actually edit this image inside of the block. So come over to styles. As you can see, we've still got some padding on the top and left. So we're just going to remove that and leave it at 0 to get rid of the sides. Then the padding at the top to have it at 0 as well. I'd probably leave padding as it is for now. We can come back and check. Cool, so now all you want to do is just go ahead and start filling out the title, copy, and then we can add the stuff at the bottom as well. So how this would look is like so. Update the text here, exactly the same as what we had on Figma. So I'm just pasting that in. Now we're just going to go ahead and line that up with the fonts used. So I can see the font is Inter and the font size is 35. So let's just update that to 35. And this is Inter. Cool, so I haven't got this font on my computer. For now, let's just leave it as Arial Black. Pretty similar. Obviously, I know it's not the exact same, but I don't have the fonts on my computer for this example. So what you want to do, check the color here, copy the color from there, and we can actually paste that color onto here. Text color, paste, like so. And I'm assuming that's just going to be 0, 0. Yep. Come back over here at 0, 0. And again, we're just going to make that black, black. Why is that a little bit gray? I don't know. Cool, so for example, that's the heading there. Now what we want to do is go and copy the Body copy here, that's also black, same font. Again, I don't have that font on my computer, so we're just going to keep it as it is for now. Obviously, if you're doing this for yourself, you'll update it with your brand fonts, and we just need to play around with the padding now. So styles, let's just have the padding on the left 35, that can be 20, and that can also be 20. And you can see I'm starting to build this out as well. That's also being updated. So you want to change the block padding on the text as well. Let's just have that 35, okay, too small, 100, that can be 20 as well, and that can be 20 as well. That's pretty much how you do it. Then for the subscribe button, get my 10% discount, update that. Discount. So obviously that's just me speed running it to give you a quick example. I've not got all these fonts on my computer, so it's not going to look the exact same, and you also want to make sure all the padding inside of here is correct so that when you upload this form, it's the exact same as your design. If I make that 20, obviously it's going to make it smaller, 40, 60. So that's just me updating the padding. You can do the exact same for all of these as well. So I could just have this at 20, 20. Personally, I'd keep them both the same though, 60 and 60. And that's pretty much how you'd make a pop-up form, just to give you a quick demonstration. Of course, take the time to go ahead and make sure this looks exactly how you want it and in tune with your brand design and fonts. And let's just go ahead and create an A/B test to show you how to do this. So that would be obviously iteration number 1. Cool, so that's pretty much how you create your pop-up form. I've gone through what creates a good looking pop-up. Hope this helps you understand what a high converting pop-up looks like. And that's everything that you need to know as to how to create a high converting pop-up form for your e-commerce brand. Now that you know how to create a pop-up form and start capturing customers, you're going to need to write emails that actually engage and entertain your list, create flows that convert, and manage deliverability for inboxing. Also, you can convert email addresses into loyal customers. And there is a lot that goes into building a successful retention marketing system all by yourself. So if you are looking for a team of experts to get you guaranteed growth with your email and SMS side of your business, just click the first link in my description and book a call. Or you can take the time to watch this free video, which is a full in-depth course teaching you absolutely everything that I know about email marketing for free.